Look at this tweet. Somebody said this. Somebody made a fake tweet of Elon Musk saying, now I'm going to buy McDonald's and fix all the ice cream machines. And Elon Musk replied, listen, I can't do miracles, okay? This guy. Listen. Elon is crazy. He's just going, talking to people. Next, I'm going to buy Rockstar and release GTA 4 next month, 6 next month. That would be sick though. This guy is cool. Listen, for those who live under a rock, Twitter now belongs to one person. And this shook the whole internet world. And so let me find a place where there's the news. I don't know why they want to show me only top stories in Portuguese. I have to change. I should change my privacy or something. Wait, go search languages. English. Yo, why are you showing me stuff in Portuguese? Top stories. Come on, man. Let me see. The BBC. I don't know. Indian Express. I don't know this one, but okay. Alright, let's go with the Indian Express. It's official. Elon Musk will acquire Twitter for 44 billion in one of the world's biggest deals. Listen, I remember when Instagram was sold for 1 billion, how everybody went crazy. And now you had WhatsApp for 19 billion and everybody was like, ah. And now it's Twitter that is used by everybody, every news channel, everybody. And somebody bought it for $44 billion. In one of the world's biggest deals in the tech world, billionaire Elon Musk has taken control of Twitter. Musk will pay close to 44 billion for the social media network. So he bought a whole social media network. This is crazy. And for him, free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is a digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithm open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Twitter has a tremendous potential. I look forward to working with a company and community of users to unlock it. Musk said in a press statement posted to his Twitter account to announce that the deal was confirmed. Wow. Listen, it's very interesting that Twitter buying. So I remember when the Washington Post was bought by Jeff Bezos, and a lot of publications were like, "Oh my God, it's amazing! He saved them." He says he's gonna be new. He's gonna be neutral. He's not gonna be hands-on on the newspaper. Everybody was like positively receiving the announcement. Some people were still saying, "Yo, like the press in the hand of a billionaire." But interestingly, everybody that is a progressive in the US, people leaning on the left, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, they're all going crazy. They're all going nuts. They're all having a meltdown. They're saying that free speech is over, democracy is dead because da. I think I've said enough about the social media platforms, right? These private entities, they belong to investors. Actually, I'm an investor in Twitter. I don't know how many shares. I don't even know. I guess. Wait a minute, what? Well, I have to put this back in place. So I believe that I get for every share, I'm gonna get $44. I don't even know how it works when something you buy, something you own goes private. So yeah, we'll see. But the thing is this. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Everybody's talking about free speech, about Elon is gonna put Trump back, and they don't want Trump back, and etc. It's very interesting to me how people, when they want to defend the things that they agree with, they are ready to use censorship. And when somebody says something that they don't like, they will label it as dangerous, as this, as that, as tyrannic, etc., etc. And Elon Musk buying Twitter, we'll see what it does, you know. But all these people who were saying that it's normal that Jeff Bezos buys the Washington Post, they are going crazy now over Elon Musk buying Twitter. So you have to have the same opinion and not be like, oh my God, this is the end. This platform is over, and like run away here and there. Listen, those are private companies. You can go wherever you want. You can start your crew somewhere where you all agree with each other, and maybe you can make those platforms grow bigger. Because yeah, listen, all these platforms, the best thing they can have is competition, so that at least they're scared to lose you. The problem of a platform like YouTube or a platform like Facebook is that there's no competition. So they can decide, they can dictate. Listen, the whole COVID situation, what it showed you is that when everybody decides something, and everybody decide that this is the right thing to say, and every other forms of medication that we disagree with, even without testing, if you talk about it, you can be labeled a complotist, and you can be terminated from Twitter, from Facebook, from YouTube. And a lot of people, this is what happened to them. People who are the advocate of humanity, of free speech, etc., they spend their days canceling people. That's all they want to do. They want to cancel you because you don't believe in whatever thing. They don't want to cancel you because you don't believe that people can have 1 million different types of sexualities, or call themselves with pronouns and whatever. Like, they are in a, you agree with us, or you are an enemy of the good. And this is, in my opinion, because of this is what it says, but hey, listen, he might be an evil genius who just has a plan, the way Zuckerberg had a plan, and he's an evil genius. I think people are jumping to conclusions too early. What he says is social media has become a place where if you are part of the people who are deemed to be the good people and you agree with that message, you're safe. And if you're not, they will find a way to censor you. And this is not what free speech is. Free speech is we can all say what we want to say, And if you say something that is bad, that is reprehensible by the law, then you will have to respond for what you said. And then the law will come and a judge will decide what is your punition. You can go to jail, you can pay a fine, etc., etc. But today, the people that people don't like, all you need to do is find them some old tweet, something that is offensive to one community, so we can call you a somethingist or something phobe, and boom, you stink. Nobody wants to talk to you anymore. And it shows, it goes to what, even if it's not the same subject, but it's something that we might talk about when the whole thing is over, but it's the same thing to what Disney did to, and the whole Hollywood industry actually did to Johnny Depp, just because of something that Amber Heard wrote in the Washington Post. Back when it was cool to be part of the Me Too movement and to be woke, she said something nobody even tried to ask themselves, is she lying? Because asking yourself this question today, like just having even 1% of a doubt today, you will get eliminated by everybody. If you do a video 3 years ago saying, I don't know if she's, I don't know if you say, I don't know, I'm not sure, you get you get eliminated from the face of the earth. And to me, I've been with people like her. I mean, I'm not gonna judge her until she's proven guilty or innocent. I was not there between them. But listen, when you've been with somebody like that, you recognize all these traits. You recognize all, and listen to me, there's a few people, a few men that they just find one of those evil people. They get weak because they are trophies, and then they get swallowed by these type of women. And because we're in a society that is very patriarchal, where men are supposed to be strong, it is kind of strange to say, oh, I've been victim of domestic abuse as a man. But it exists. I know a few of them. I know people who are going through it right now. And I know women that are mean and are ready to destroy your reputation just to go and because they have disorder. So it was very interesting to see the I forgot her name, but she was really spot on. The psychologist who said that she had a borderline personality disorder. Listen, it made me think so much of a few exes of some friends, a few people that I know, people in my, we all have a family member who's crazy and mean. When they get triggered, they just go crazy. And the beauty of, I was on Twitter, but now I'm going to this, but I want to do a whole episode about it when I'm not tired. But like, what was I saying? The beauty of the Me Too movement, right? And all the different movements, the Afro feminists, the Me Too's, the BLMs, all these movements, the beauty of what they are for us and for whoever is concerned, the LGBTQ or every movement, there's a beauty because at a point you need to be represented, you need to be defended, and you need to have a voice that is powerful enough that you create a change to how you are being treated as a black woman, as a gay person, as a trans person, as a trans woman, trans man, as whatever whatever places, that categories where you feel that you belong, any of or all, it is important to have a voice. It is important to have people that represent you, people that defend you, and people that make sure that you have rights. And the beauty of the Me Too movement was that a lot of women who didn't say nothing for a lot of things that happen in the music industry, in a lot of things that I've seen myself in the music industry, or in the arts and movies industries. People had to find the courage to step out and say, oh, this happened to me, and me too, and me too. And then that's how this whole movement started. The problem is, all these things, right? All these things, plus the way the media is taking, listen, media needs stories every hour so they can have something to say and they can show you ads. Social media needs subjects for you to angrily fight with somebody else about, so you can stay on the platform fighting and they can show you ads. So this is everything that is for free. You have to see ads at a point. And the problem here is that because they need you to talk about it, debate about it, fight against it, against each other, and have these shots of dopamine that makes you come back to know what did that person reply, and start just being triggered. Soon as somebody talks about some words, you get triggered. Oh, black woman, hair, you get triggered. Trans, this, triggered. Black man, Africa, triggered. Arab, triggered. White man, triggered. That's like, this is what they need, because they need you to be here and stay here on your phone, talking, commenting, being angry, and looking at ads, because that's how they make money, and they can know who you are, and they can get data, and they sell this data, and they make more money about you. The more you're there, the more they make money. Same for CNN. They're gonna give you, they're gonna make you angry, scared about a lot of things. They're gonna put some nice music on it, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, and boom. Same on Fox News on the other side. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna trigger you. All of these people all around, everybody's trying to trigger you. It's like you were fish in the sea, and they're fishermen. They're waiting. When they trigger you, they're like, got this motherfucker. That's what they're all trying to do. And when the Me Too movement arrived, I was applauding like everybody. And then in France, we had that journalist who had her case against a TV boss. That person lost his job straight away. And then at a point, they had a trial on defamation, the same way as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And she lost. She lost because she said that he sent her something, and because he was her boss, she was scared to lose her job, and then and then he just sent a text, and that's it. They never met, they never had sex, nothing. He just sent her some gross text like, oh, I like your boobs, whatever, like, you're the type of girls that I would fuck, some stuff like that. And She said that this ruined her life for years, etc., etc. She was scared because he was superior, whatever. And he ended up, as soon as the trial started, they asked, okay, so when did you work for him? And she said, never. So wait a minute, you were never in the same organization. They just met one day in one big event for all TV people, and that's it. So she never worked for him. So how you can say that you've been harassed at work when you don't work for the person? You had a conversation at a bar, he tried to hit you, and that's it. But because you wanted to be part of the Me Too movement, at any mean, you invented this whole thing and you destroyed somebody's life. He got a divorce, and his daughters didn't talk to him for 2 years. And he lost his job as the head of one TV. I think the TV station was Equidia, French TV station. And at that time, so that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't remember. That's when I was like, whoop, they're going too far. They are giving too much power to people, and those people are drunk on that power, which happens all the time. When you never had a voice and you never had the power to decide, and people all of a sudden they give you a voice and they give you the power to decide, and you realize that you can fuck somebody's life, sometimes the person deserves it. But sometimes some people will abuse that power, and we all know it. We've all seen it. You got people, they cool, and then one day they become the physio at they become the doorman at a club, and their job is to decide who gets in, who doesn't. And now they start having attitudes because they have power over who can have fun inside and who will stay in the street in the cold. And some people will just do their job professionally. They know why, that's what they hired for. But some people will abuse that power. They will let you in sometimes, and sometimes they won't. Why? Because I feel like it. Because I can. And that's when those people need to be checked. And what has been happening in the last 5 years, I would say, is that we gave all the different minority groups and people who say they suffer about something, all the victims, we gave them, and all the real victims, the pretended victims and the fake victims, we gave to everybody the same power without even thinking about it. We're like, oh, listen, just like Oprah, listen, the word that Oprah said is, to me, is dangerous. I will always believe the victim. What kind of fucking thing is that? No, you can't. Because some people lie. Have you ever been lied about? I've been lied about. Listen, when I was the CEO of, I'm still the CEO, but when I had label and I had a lot of artists and everybody wanted to be signed with me, work with me, etc., then there's a lot of interest, a lot of money involved. One artist lied about me. It was nothing sexual, whatever. But she lied about me and my work ethics so she could get whatever she wanted. I didn't speak for her for 6 years, and only after 6 years she came and she said, sorry, I was influenced by such and such and such. And I said, I know exactly who influenced you. But damn, we were friends. And you said this and that and that, and you said things in newspapers about me. You said things in the newspapers, and the people who read these things, nobody will come and tell them, hey, whatever you read about this guy was not true. And that's when, to me, there's a problem. You see all these people who talking about Johnny Depp. We end up, and listen, think what's gonna happen. But listen, everybody is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But Disney removed his movie franchise. He lost a ton of money. He had to give her a ton of money. She didn't even give it to charity like she said she would. He's been seen as a woman beater and being removed from the whole thing. Impossible to hire by the powers that be, because she wrote an article when she made the world believe that he's a woman beater. I've been with somebody like that, and listen, you love them so much that they take you in the dark. And this is a fight between darkness and the light that this guy is fighting. And listen, you don't know what it is when you read something about you, when you made somebody's career or you help somebody, and you read an article or you see them on interviews or you hear them talk, you hear what they say about you to other people, when you know that everything is false. And then people go around and they spread those things. And even if it ends up that, yeah, you were right, when they come say sorry to you, they don't come and they say sorry in front of the whole world. They come and they say to you discreetly in the dark, I'm so sorry, listen, please forgive me and help me. By the way, I need to do new music. I need you. That's why I'm saying I'm sorry, not because I'm sorry, but just because I need you, and nobody, like, I fucked my thing with everybody and now it's just you, so please, I need you to help me. But the rest of the world, they still believe everything they said about you. And this to me is my problem with all these groups. I grew up with gay people in Africa before it was cool to be gay. For the last 48 years, I grew up with those people. I have friends. I'm friends with the first ever trans person in France, and black at the same time. I'm friends with that person. This is the community that I'm the first ever heterosexual artist that sings Zouk and Kizomba that have been on the cover of the first gay magazine for French people called Têtu. I did a cover of that magazine. I'm one of the first one who sang in a 100% gay club in France, like for West Indies people. And then I was the top artist back in the early 2000s. I was the top artist of the West Indies and African gay community. So I've always been an ally. But the problem is, at a point when all of them didn't have power, yeah, you could have a disagreement with them about the way they were doing their thing. Now that they are super powerful and that everybody's, whatever they say as victim groups, all of them, it's not just the gay, but whenever you disagree with something, it is so easy to go find a tweet or a joke that you made 10 years ago and say, he's a homophobe. And that's what those platforms do now. And this is why Elon says he's buying Twitter, so that a little bit of this power is taken back, because we need a balance of power in the world. It's not just, listen, some people are racist, some people are I completely disagree with them, but they have the right to express themselves. And I see all these people who are on the left side. Oh my God, he's gonna be oh my God, they're all gonna come back to Trump's. Listen, I don't believe, and I remember like my stance on Trump being removed from Twitter was, I don't know, but it's a private company, a platform, etc. Yes. But as time went by, even if he broke some of the rules, that's true, I don't believe that it should have been removed from Twitter forever, because it gives a bad taste of democracy. You cannot want democracy and decide that democracy only works if I say the things you want to hear. You cannot say that you want democracy where we can all give our opinions, and if I say that I understand Russia, I'm not saying, yeah, I'm pro with them, let's go kill. No, if you just say I understand how we got there, why they attacked, if you just say this, people will say, oh, he's a pro Russia, oh, he's a pro, oh, he wants to, oh, look at all these children, and then you get removed. Listen, you get your, do you remember this email that I received from YouTube? Do you want me to read the email again? Hey, wait a second. Give me a second. Let me find it. If I find it. What was it? YouTube. No, it was not from YouTube. It was from AdSense. Even worse. Recent payment. Thank you. Payments. Oh. I'm not going to find it. Damn it. Google AdSense. Oh, damn. I think I'll probably put it in the trash. Let me see. AdSense. There you go. Do you remember this email? Important notice update regarding Ukraine. Dear publisher, due to the war in Ukraine, we will pause monetization of content that exploits, dismisses, or condones the war. Please note we have already been enforcing on claims related to the war in Ukraine when they violated existing policies. For instance, dangerous or derogatory blah 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 blah, prohibits monetizing content that incite violence and denies tragic events. This update is meant to clarify, etc. Okay. In a way, it's normal and it's a good thing that there's rules in a platform. But now the people who work at those platforms, they can use those rules, and because they disagree with anything you say, they start using those things against you. And this is where the platform become one-sided, and they don't let you give your opinion on a subject. And if you say anything that has a little bit of, listen, we kind of understand, and people get pissed at you, people have been raised, this new generation have been raised in a world where a difference of opinion is absolutely a fight that they have to win, because they get triggered and they get emotional on everything. But some people in this when they see Europe going crazy about the war in Ukraine and just doing everything the Americans tell them, and thinking a little bit, oh, wait a minute, who's winning from this? Like, and why are the Americans why are they pushing so much to sell their weapons? Why do they want us to stop taking gas from Russia and no, don't worry, we have gas, we're gonna sell you our gas. Like, can you just stop and think about it and just have the conversation and try to see the big picture? Somebody at YouTube might see that whole video you do about it and be like, oh, he's a pro-Russian, and use those rules against you because he's a part of whatever group. And my thing is this: whatever I believe in as a politically, when I get to work, I'm not supposed to bring this at work. If you are woke, gay, pro this, pro that, anti this, anti that. Even if you are a racist, if you work at Spotify and Joe Rogan is there giving his opinion about things and you disagree with his opinion, you don't come and try to force Spotify to remove him from Spotify because you are angry at what he says. Because listen, just like Dave Chappelle says, everybody has become a bitch ass nigga. Like, people have to stop with this. And at a point, for this, it takes some companies like, Netflix defending Dave Chappelle to tell people, no, you cannot bully us into whatever you want. And if you represent 1% or 0.1% of the population, you are as important as the rest, but your opinions are not the opinion of everybody else. And yes, you have to be protected. Yes, you have to have a voice. Yes, etc., etc. But what you disagree on or what makes you angry, the rest of the people must be able to say, no, I'm not angry about that, and no, I don't feel like this is offensive, and I understand that, listen, this is comedy, this is a joke, and we completely know that the tweet from Kevin Hart was a joke from the get-go. We completely understand. You don't want to understand because you want to get angry about something every day. And I don't believe that all these groups that have been, they have been torturing everybody else with their anger and their and listen, some of my groups, like the Africans, like complaining all the time. Like, there's a point where people are tired of hearing people complain about stuff that even if they benefit from, they were not there. Most of the people that you talk to about slavery, they were not there. It doesn't mean that they don't benefit. It doesn't mean that in certain countries, the whole country has been built on that. There's stuff that you have to change structurally, of course, but it doesn't mean that all these things that you feel in the US, people feel them in the rest of the world. And the same way I've been saying, it is offensive to us who come from war-torn countries like Congo, like RCA, like Senegal, like used to be, like a bunch of countries where we had stuff happening, we had wars, we had this, or even people from Yugoslavia 10 years ago, or if 20 years ago, I don't remember, or like even people right now in Sudan or in Yemen, to see how they are going crazy about Ukraine, when for the rest of the 200 other conflicts around the world, the same people don't care. But the same people, they make you understand that if you are flying away from Syria, where there's a war that they started with their shit as always. If you run away and most of you die in the Mediterranean Sea, you are a migrant. But if you are Ukrainian, you have blonde hair and blue eyes, you're a refugee. And you don't even have to ask for asylum. You get EU card straight away. Wow. But what about me from Syria? Oh, no, you're a migrant. Chill. Stay in the border, sleep in the forest, and be treated like an animal. You're not a human. But the same people who treat the rest of the world this way, they go to Africa. They're like, yo. They go to Africa and they're like, Are you outraged by what Russia is doing? Say you're outraged. Are you? And people are like, you don't give a fuck about us, so we don't give a fuck about you. This is your thing. You handle it between yourselves. How can you say that? We can say that because this is how you've been making us feel all this time. And all these rage that you are putting against Russia, we don't have to feel it. They are the aggressor. We know. You should care. We don't. Why not? Listen, a friend of mine, I have so many friends in Ukraine, and I've been there. I've performed there. I loved it there. The place where I performed is destroyed. So I feel for them, right? But a friend of mine sent me a message on Instagram telling me that I have to not stay silent about Ukraine. And I told her, I've been tweeting, I've been retweeting stuff, I've been helping. Actually, I sent money. I sent money to organizations, and I help people. So I did hopefully a little bit of my part. With the school of my daughter, we sent diapers or stuff, first necessity for all these women with children. We sent stuff. We did our part, a little bit. We did a little bit like everybody else. And she was like, that's not enough. I cannot understand how people are still organizing festivals, dancing and doing music videos, and those people, when people are dying. And I was like, wait a minute. You have been dancing for years and people have been dying in Congo every day, being raped and everything. So what's wrong? What's wrong with all these people? When it happens to them, it's the end of the world. When it happens to the rest of the world, they don't care. And I don't listen. People are tired. People are tired. I've been telling this to some friends for a year now. I was like, yo, listen, Me Too movement, the LGBT 2+, the pronouns, the this, the that. People are about to be tired, and people are about to take back a little bit of the power. Not all of it, but a little bit. Because all of you minority groups have had BLMs, etc. We gave you some power, too much power, and you went crazy with it. And we're gonna have to take some of it back, because most of the people who are vocal represent 2% of one side, and most of the other people who are vocal represent 2% of the other side. And there's a 96% of the rest of the people who are not vocal, and they're just like, guys, calm down. And sometimes, depending on who you follow, Twitter is a shitty place. It's a shitty place full of people trying to gaslight other people, full of people trying to force their opinions on you and explain to you that, what if he was your sister? What if he was your children? What if he was your this? What if he was your that? When it comes to one subject, and when it's another subject, you don't hear them. And they hear, we're gonna strip Will Smith of everything out of his career, and at the same time they're still giving all these Polanski still in France, chilling, receiving César, which is the same as the Grammys or the Oscars in France, and has his movies still being financed by France. France, the king of pointing fingers at people. So Elon said, fuck it, I'm buying Twitter. And he's either gonna turn it into a place where at least everybody can give their opinion. Maybe it's gonna be worse. Or maybe he's gonna turn evil genius, just like Zuckerberg. We'll see. Listen, those are private companies. If you're not happy about it, you should have bought it yourself. You and everybody else. Listen, how many shares of Twitter do I own? Let me see. Or did I sell them already? Let me see. Crypto, no. Stock options. And I have a lot of this. Twitter. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. I got shares. They didn't say nothing yet about the sale, but news. Yeah, it's been bought, I know. Well, listen. Thing is this. You want the world to change, to reflect whatever. You have to either vote or either do what I do. Everything that I work on, I buy a little bit of it. Listen, not enough to create a change for now, but listen, I own Facebook. You can hate them. I need to own a little bit of it because I do a lot of my work on Instagram. I own a little bit of ByteDance because they own TikTok. I own a little bit of Twitter. I own Dropbox. I own Robinhood. I have that too. I own what else do I own that I use? Google stock, Spotify. I own what else? Apple. Why do I own all these companies? I own them because as a shareholder of all these companies, I get to vote on things and I get to receive information about future plans and all that stuff as a shareholder. And when I vote, if I have 10 shares of one company, my voice is nothing compared to the millions of people, right? But if everybody thought like me and took 100 euros or $200 and they bought, let's say 1 million of us bought each $200 worth of Twitter shares or Facebook shares or whatever shares, right? And now you had 10 million Africans owning each, let's say $300 of Twitter shares. That would be 10 million people who would be able to vote and steer the company in one direction or the other and make some subject more important than some others. Sadly, the only thing we know how to do is complain, cancel, tweet, ask those companies to pretend they care. They don't care. They care about money. That's the only thing they care about. Money, making their investors happy, me, and that's it. The rest, they pretend they care just because media gave you the power. Media gave power to the LGBTs, the trans, this is the LGBTs, the woke, the BLM, the this, the that, and in the same media organization, they also own on the other side, on the right, they give power to with other channels to the anti all of this. Boom. The right wing, the this, the that, the coy boys, like all the, like, everybody have places. And when you look at media conglomerates, so I'm going to give you an example. In France, for example, you're going to have the Canal Plus group that belongs to Bolloré, or is it Vivendi? Vivendi. He owns that. And so you got Canal, which is more movies and series. They're in the middle. They got C5, which is more. Then you got C8, more on the left. Then you got C News on the right. C News is like Fox News a little bit. And C8, you have Anuna on one side, very left, very da. And then on the right, you're gonna, in C8, and then you're gonna have C News that is on the other side with other types of personalities. And you have, they make an Anuna become powerful on one side, and then Zemmour on the other side. But if you realize, they own both. So if you watch this and you are 50% of the French population, they get 50% of the money here. And if you want to watch a lot of Zemmour and his ideas, you watch this one and you hate those people, and those people hate you, but you represent 50% of the money, and the whole thing is 100% of the fucking money. And people don't understand that, because people are not business people. People never look at the bigger picture of everything. They just look at the little lens of whatever they believe in, and they never try to understand everybody. And when you try to understand the other side, just to try to understand why they think what they think, and not just hysterical people, and you just take the time to listen to what they say, disagree with something and agree with other things, it's not a bad thing. When you try to do this, they say, well, Russia, they've been telling stuff, do you remember the Minsk Accord in 94? Like, weren't Zelensky supposed to do this and that, but he didn't, and then he kept bombing those people. So at a point, like, isn't it what we did for Sarajevo back in the days when we bombed the people the same way that Russia is bombed? We did the same thing. Like, it's fucking pro-Putin. And there you go. Demonetized. Have any doubt about the mask? Complotists. Demonetized. And when you give too much power to people who are hungry, not for whatever message they had back in the days, but they just want to keep the power now, it becomes very dangerous. And then you have people like Amber Heard, who can lie in the face of people and nobody is asking nothing. You have people like what's her name? You all forgot about her, but the wife of Prince, what's his name? This guy. Look at them. We already forgot them. Yeah, her and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They just said something simple as, they were asking themselves what would be the color of the baby, and Oprah was like, what? And I was like, yeah, everybody who has a kid with, listen, I said it before, my daughter is half Russian, half Congolese. She's part Russian, part Congolese, part Guinea-Bissau, part Portuguese. Yeah, I don't know how she's gonna come out in terms of color. We can be a curiosity. Is she gonna have blue eyes? Is she gonna have this? We don't know. And everybody went crazy. And everybody, because it's so easy to gaslight people today. And this is a world where it's complicated. I don't know how you people, with all this stress that you are inflicting to yourselves, I don't know how you live more than 90 years. Like, you guys need to chill. You guys need to chill. And Twitter, I call it the cesspool. Twitter is a horrible place. Depending on who you follow and what subjects you touch, this can be a horrible place that is bad for mental health. And listen, I have a lot of friends who believe that Elon buying Twitter is the worst thing in the world. And I have a lot of people who are Elon Musk fans who believe that he cannot do wrong. When I talked to my best friend, she was like, oh, he's an Afrikaner. He come from South Africa. He's a racist. And his father made his money from the mines of da. I mean, I don't know his history as much, but I know that she's not a person that that just say things. So it's something that, I could look about. But again, I'm like, I don't believe that you are your parents. You have to pay for whatever your parents are. But we can have conversations about those things and not end the conversation be angry at each other. We end the conversation both being enriched by the differences of opinions. I have another friend. This one, if you disagree with her politically, she's gonna stop talking to you for 6 months until she's back to another zone and she calls you as all of a sudden. So, well, listen, it's free. I'm gonna have to take my girl to school tomorrow. Let me look at your comments and check out. I was probably talking about money. You following that case? Those two. Listen, the psychologist is amazing. I want her to work on me. I want to sit down and she tell me what is my problem. Every organization is trying to lead opinions. If you think otherwise, you'll be canceled. And listen, it's crazy to me that we are in a world where, when I was a kid, when CNN was playing somewhere, I was happy. I don't know why. And that's the craziness about Occident. CNN has colonized. It's on every television around the world, and it's spreading a message that is one side of the conversation. But if you're an African, for example, and I grew up around Mobutu. You too, Joel. And I don't see him the way they talk about him, because I've known him personally my whole life, and my mother knew him since she was 5 years old, and she was friends with my parents. And does it mean that everything he did was good? No. We can talk about it. But because of what CNN and some of those, and the French, the Occidental, once they got against him, what they say about him, he is, to a lot of people who don't even know what he did, he is just a horrible person. We talk about Hitler all the time as the worst person to ever be on the face of the earth because of the Holocaust. But the King Leopold II from Belgium killed 8 million Congolese people when Congo was his property as a person. They gave it to him. Oh yeah, take all these niggas, they're for you. And he killed 8 million of them. But yeah, he's the king of the Belgium. They don't speak to him the same way they speak about Hitler. But he did the same thing. Oh wait, they were black people. Bom dia. Oh, Moçambique. Muito bom ali. Listen, urban sweet spot, that's the best thing you ever said. I mean, you said a lot of great things here, but this is facts. Liars all around. Hopefully, Elon will be able to achieve the balance with his power. Listen, that's all I hope for him. I don't know. I'm personally, I cannot be a person that will say what's going to happen before it happens. I don't know. I remember though that when Facebook bought Instagram, I was like, this is not going to end well. It's like, it's not going to end well for us creators, because I know how Facebook is. Facebook is about, giving you something for free and not giving you anything in return and taking your data. That's how they do. Google, they share the money. Like, listen, if you give me 1 hour, $100 super chat, YouTube will take $30 and still give me $70. So you can make good money as a creator if this audience of people is multiplied by 100, for example. I can make, for every live, I can make $5,000 to $10,000. On Facebook, I've seen all these people during the pandemic, during the quarantine, being live in front of 6,000 people and making $0. They were happy. Oh, wow, you know my live, I had 60,000 people watching me sing. Oh, you sing for free now? All right. Bisous. This Russia-Ukraine war really exposed the Western hypocrisy and opened the eyes of so many people around the world. Nothing to add. La milliardaire. Oh, get better, sister. Bon shoes of bon show safety. Is it bon show safety or bon show safety? This whole time I was reading bon shoes a fly. Oh my God. Listen, that's for sure. Come on. He forces his way just to do a Tesla. Yeah, he's a special person. Lots of fans and lots of people who are, again, you don't live in the States, and that's why some people feel the way they do here. I completely agree. But my problem with the state is the people in the state, they believe that everybody lives in the state. You see what I mean? It's the same thing. The States, France, Europe is not the whole world. And Twitter is not used only by Americans. It's used by the whole world. And we cannot be all forced to live and feel the way you guys feel. The way a black woman feels in the US is not the way all black women feel. But the black women from the US, they come with slogans like, black women this. No, that's not true. Because black women in the US is 5%, wrong, fake numbers, is 5 to 10% of black women all around the world. So people have to stop thinking that when you say black people and you come from the point of view of America, we're talking about all the black peoples in the world. That's not true. Now, if you say American people or black American people or Afro-American people, now you are specific. But people don't like to be specific. You know why? Because they believe that whatever they feel in their street is what everybody feels around the world. And even inside of the US, what somebody feels in Atlanta might not be the same thing that somebody feels in Alabama. It might not be the same thing that somebody feels in New Mexico or in Alaska. And they might be the same demographic, the same ethnic group, but they might have 4 different opinions. And people, whatever they feel, they want to believe that everybody feels this way. There's a lot of people who hate Elon for his ways, etc. And there's also a lot of people who are fans of him because of his ways. Same thing for Joe Budden, same thing for Joe Rogan, same thing for most people, actually. You know, we're gonna have our ways, and we're gonna make some people feel a way and some others one way. But it's not because you're American that you're gonna specifically feel one way. Because even in America, there's a huge division about how people feel. Some people, if they lean on the left, they feel like, oh shit, Twitter is gone. And some people, if they lean on the right, they're like, finally, somebody's gonna save Twitter. But there's also people on the right who feel like, oh my God, not him. And some people on the left who are like, yeah, we need some balance, whatever. So I don't believe that if you're part of one group, and understand the US is not like Europe, it's not like Portugal, but I believe in the granularity of all of us. I believe that opinions is not like, if there's 10 people, I believe it's 10 opinions. It might be the same opinion, but there's always going to be some variations. I don't believe that because you live in America that you are black, that you're going to feel one way, or you're going to feel unprotected, or you're going to feel X, or you're going to feel Y or Z, because you might feel completely different. To give you an example, I've lived in Africa for 10 years, but my parents were rich. So I never felt, of course, when there was a war, a little different, but I never felt threatened. I never felt hungry. I never felt this. I never felt that. So it changed. It created a point of view that is different from somebody who lived maybe across the street and was poor, right? For them, maybe they felt scared. Maybe they felt hungry. Maybe they felt angry at me. But I didn't do anything. I didn't choose where I was born. And so we can be 2 people in the same place and feel completely different because of the upbringing. And I disagree, even if I understand there's groups, etc. But I disagree with the fact that if you are an American, you can only have one way of thinking depending on the groups you are. But of course, like, that's a whole conversation. That's a whole conversation about opinions. And this is why it's important to have opinions. And however people feel about Trump, I'm not a fan personally. I'm not a fan of nobody. So I'm more of like, oh, let's see. That's me. Some people, they are more of, this is going to happen. And Twitter is a commercial business. And the thing is, as I've said about platforms, one day I remember 10, 15 years ago, it started with the Haiti earthquake. Everybody started using Twitter as a source of information, and that's when Twitter blew up. I've been on Twitter from the beginning. And I remember when Twitter was just like, oh, I'm drinking a coffee. Oh, I'm here. I remember my first tweets, like all of us, when it was like 200,000 people on Twitter, we were just talking about nothing special. I'm here doing that. That was Twitter. And now, then it changed. And now I wonder, now it's not it's a question that I'm asking myself is, how do all these new organizations, especially those who are leaning on the left, I guess, feel now that they made Twitter a source of where, like, the agora of the people, now that it has been privatized by one person? How do government feel? Because this is tremendous power in the hand of one person. And I never asked myself if he was more on the right. I believe that Elon is more leaning on the right. I'm not sure. I never researched about him. I'm not a fan of him like that like this. I'm just a fan of like some of the things he did, and I find it interesting to look at some of the things he did. But other than that, I don't wake up in the morning like some people praising anybody and not him. So, but I wonder how they feel as businesses, where the places that they look for, I remember the first time where they were quoting people on Twitter, on TV in France. I was like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I was like, whoa, they're quoting Twitter? So I wonder now that it's normal to quote Twitter, and now that it belongs to one person, how all these politicians and leaders who are using this platform, how they feel knowing that they're not using a platform that belongs to everybody, but to that one person. How do they feel like the threat of that? So maybe this is why people on the left are like, whoa. We prefer if it belongs to like a lot of shareholders and like Kaysha and his free shares and this guy and that guy, rather than one guy who wants to take it private and change it. And maybe he's gonna bring chaos to this by whatever he think is the right thing might be the wrong thing. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And maybe, listen, I don't know. I cannot know for him. And I understand why some people might be scared of this in the US, especially in the US, where this country is so divided. And sometimes I feel like this country is in the brink of civil war. I wonder how they feel about that. They must be like asking themselves a lot of questions. Like, yo, belongs to this guy now. And so, and I don't know if I don't know in the US if, I watch more American media than French media. Because, back now in the world, like, there's how you feel by, as you say, living there. But depending on the type of media you watch, if you only watch English media and US media, and you get all your information source more from American media, even if you don't live there, so you don't live the life of those who live there, you still are influenced by whatever is going on there. When some people, they live in Kenya or Mali or Congo, and they only watch Congolese media, and they don't even care about what's going on on the other side of the world. So it depends. I have a show, my show is in English, my audience is more American than North American than actually European itself. It depends. You see what I mean? So I wonder how all these people how they think about it. Like, we'll see. We might be in 5 years being like, yo, he fucked it up. I'm not like rooting for him or against him. I'm always like trying to see as a business person and as somebody who lives in society, and trying to understand. I'm listening to what he said about why he was buying it, and then we'll see. Did he lie? Did he make it better or not? So we'll see. I cannot know for them. It's bonne chose ici. Bonne chose ici. What does it mean? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? I'm out for tonight. See you on Sunday for episode 200. Yay! I'm about to be out too. I have to take my daughter to school. I was addressing that you felt many are angry here. Believe me, they don't want to be, but I understand the frustration they express online. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what he plans to do. If he adds an edit button without paying for Twitter Blue, I'm cool with it. If he puts everybody verified, I don't know about that. Maybe because I'm verified. Not because I'm verified, but I understand that you want to verify people, but maybe as artists, for example, I don't like what Facebook did on YouTube did. On YouTube, everybody can be verified. As a channel, if you have a certain number of people, you can be verified. But us artists, instead of having a normal verification, we have a music note. And I think it's stupid. This is YouTube, Google, always trying to do different when something works for everybody, every site. The verification that came from Twitter, I think, it's a blue check mark. Instagram, it's a blue check mark. The rest of the world is a blue check mark. YouTube, of course, they want to do something that is gray. Like, come on. Give a blue check mark to all the channels and maybe give a red one or a green one to musicians. But actually, just give a blue check mark to everybody that is verified, and that's it. And if it's an artist channel, you write artist channel on the side, something small. Make it simple. Now, they always want to complicate their life. That's why Google, just like Apple, they don't know how to do social media because they think too much and they always think they're going to do something that's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be, genius. No, stupid. Listen, I'm never going to. But yeah, listen, we're going to see. It's going to be a shift and we'll see which one. I believe that if the platform goes to shit, most people will leave the platform and they will go to something else. Like, there's a lot of alternative that people are not going because they're scared of being in places where nobody is. Just like when it comes to live streaming, most people are on Twitch, but a lot of people were on Mixer too. And then a lot of people left that place and went to, and now because of Twitch has been banning people left and right for sometimes some strange reasons. A lot of people, they're coming to YouTube. So it's good to have competition. It would actually be great if there was like 2 or 3 YouTube places and 2 or 3 places like Twitter, so that as creators, as people who are trying to express themselves, if you are not on one, you can be on the other one. But it's not great when you're in a place where only one sound comes, and it's the sound from left or it's the sound from right. It's not great because this is mind control. You have to be able to form your opinions. Let me put the out logo because you people are keeping me here alive when I want to sleep. Like, it is important to be in places where you can get informed and then form your opinions. And I believe that in the US and in France as well, because France is always hating the US but copying everything they do. I believe that in some of these countries, you have less and less place for debate, and you have some people just giving you one message and some people just giving you one message. And if you want to have the complete different opinion and form your own opinion, you actually have to watch this, and this, and this. Where I always think it's better to have one place that covers all the opinions and have maybe some shows going on one side, some shows going on the other side, and have some contradiction so that the people can decide for themselves. But in the US, when it's so capitalist and that most media groups belong to people that sway them from one direction to the other, it is complicated. So is it that Trump buying Twitter is the start of him bringing that balance, or is it that him buying Twitter is just starting the era of the conglomerates that we saw in the traditional media, where if you belong to the Murdochs, you were on one side, if you belong to those, and if you belong to those, and I don't know. I believe that we'll see in a few years. We'll look at this as the moment it started, because now, listen, somebody can come and try to buy. I mean, who else is rich as these guys? But like some Nigerian guy, I don't know, Dangote can come and say, I want to buy YouTube, or I'm buying Instagram, or I'm taking 20% of whatever, and I want more Nigerian premium, more there. You know, there's a lot of billionaires that you guys don't know. Or yeah, what if some Russian billionaire comes and says, or not anymore, but what if he came like 2 months ago, one Russian billionaire came and bought like 30% of Twitter? Would people be cheering? Would people be saying, yeah, it's capitalism, it works, this is the way? Or if the Chinese bought it, whatever, you know? That's the thing. Like, listen, let me stop talking about all that shit. Go to sleep. This show was brought to you by Shadaware.